Welcome to What's the Score, a series solely dedicated to the support of Central Florida's small business and entrepreneurs. Donated as a community service by AM 660 The Answer and Salem Communications. Now, here's Christopher Hart and Rich Jaeckle.
Hello and welcome again to What's the Score, the show designed to help you come up with that winning combination for your business. I am Christopher Hart of the American Adversaries Radio Show, joined in the studio again today by my colleague, Rich Jaeckle of Score. Rich, you look dapper today.
Oh, hell, thank you, the Heart of Christopher.
You know, I was a bartender when I just got out of high school, and I like to call myself Sir Christopher of the Valley High, because I was the bartender of the Valley High Lounge. So I don't know where you got that. Maybe that emanates from me. All right, welcome to the show. As I say, folks, of course, Score is the organization that's there to help you if you are a business out there already in a person already in business, or if you want to start up a business, because Score is the free mentorship program available to you. And it's easy to get started with Score. Just go on down there and talk to them.
That's all you got to do. Go to the Vines. The Vines on the building.
That's at the
Entrepreneur Center.
Yeah, the Fashion Square Mall Entrepreneur Center. And as Rich said, just look for the Vines on the building. And they will lead you to the Entrepreneur Center, where Score is located, with a host of other great organizations there to help you in this endeavor.
That's right, 12 other organizations.
And if you'd like to find out more about Score, you can go to their website, scoreorlando.org. That's scoreorlando.org. And if you'd like to make an appointment and go in and talk to them there, you know, one of the rarities of the Score Orlando group is that you are located in the Entrepreneur Center, one of only 3 such locations in the nation.
Yeah, we are very, very privileged to have that honor. I mean, to be there in one of the 3 buildings and stuff that are there across the nation.
Yep.
So while you Orlando, Central Florida entrepreneurs better get off your butts and go take advantage of it.
If you'd like to make an appointment, call them at 407-420-4844. That's Score at the Entrepreneur Center, 407-420-4844. And we got some events to talk about, but we've got some great folks in the studio with us today. Who are these folks? We
certainly do. We actually have our station manager, program manager, Pete Paquette, who is engineering us today. I don't know how many things he's bleeped out on me already.
You got him working hard over there. I see that.
Yes. But did I tell you, all kidding aside here, I'm going to Africa at the end of May.
Are you really?
Yeah.
On a safari?
Several. I'm going for 4 weeks. I'm just decided that before the shelf life runs out,
yep,
I'm going to take advantage.
That's one on your bucket list, huh?
Yeah, it's on the bucket list, and now it's going to get unbucketed.
All right, well, I hope you're not going to go to the northernmost regions of Africa. You'll maybe stay to the southern regions.
No, I'm going to stay where the kangaroos are.
The kangaroos, they're in Australia.
Oh, there you go. Maybe that's why I'm messed up here. But that reminds me of something, you know?
What's that?
Our guest today.
Oh, okay.
Our guest today is called the Trickaro.
Trickaro.
You be quiet over there until I announce you. The
Trickaro.
Trickaro. Okay.
The ladies from Trickaro actually are our guests today.
That went rather badly.
Yes, the ladies from Trickaro.
So go ahead and take over here.
All right, the founder, Gina Garcia, and her partner, Bonnie Hillman, from Trickaro, are here today. Welcome, ladies. Appreciate you coming in.
Thank you for having us.
All right. Real quick, what is Trickaro?
Trickaro is a small footprint electric vehicle that can carry a passenger as well as cargo. And pretty much it goes 40 miles per charge, 18 miles an hour, and it only costs 9 cents. So it's the most economical passenger vehicle on the market.
All right. Well, we're going to be finding out more about Trickaro and how she came up with this concept, how she got into business, and she's worked with Score. So we're going to find out about that as well. Real quick, though, I want to go through a couple of events. One just wrapped the other day, and you were there this past Monday at the Bay Hill Country Club.
The classic, yes.
Yeah, how did the web.com event go?
Very good. There was about 250 people there.
Wow.
For the most of them were around the Score table, believe it or not. So
yeah.
A lot of very good interest in Score. And, they were doing the Pro-Am there at the time. So they got a chance to see some good golfers and some good golf in that beautiful course.
And, of course, that was free, folks. I hope you took advantage of that. 250 folks showed up for that. That's fantastic. And, of course, that was sponsored by Web.com, great organization, one-stop shop for your web needs.
Right, and I was out in the parking lot parking cars. That's how I know.
You were counting them as they were coming in. And coming up Tuesday will be the final installment, if you will, of Veterans Business Initiative. The Veterans Business Initiative has been going on for the past 7 weeks. Well, this will be the 7th. No, I'm sorry. This will be the 8th.
This is the 8th.
The 8th, because you had an orientation session.
Right.
The 8th session, and this will be sort of the wrap party, the wrap session. Most of the business is over now. How did it go in general?
Excellent. We keep getting updates every week on this, but there have been so many ex-service people either picked up and hired, by local organizations like Disney and some of the other organizations here, but also they have been introduced to the education that's available to them and how to use their benefits and stuff. So all in all, it was a great 8 weeks.
All right, and if you've been to any of those sessions, Tuesday will be the final graduation and successes session. And, Rich, are you going to be there?
Oh, yeah.
All right, and that's, once again, it starts in the morning, 8 o'clock, and get on down there. They give you a little free breakfast.
Right.
And then have the session. That's the Veterans Business Initiative wrapping up
Summit.
This Tuesday.
Summit.
Yeah. Okay, well, speaking of veterans, it just so happens that at least one of our guests today is a veteran. That is Gina Garcia. Gina, what branch of the service did you serve in?
I was in the Navy.
You were in the Navy, huh?
Mm-hmm.
How many years?
3 years.
3 years. Did you serve on a ship?
No, never stepped foot on a ship my entire 3 years. I actually worked for NATO.
NATO, okay. All right, that's very interesting. And how did you get involved with SCORE?
Actually, a friend of mine was telling me about VRAP, which was sending veterans back to school. You had to be over 35 years of age, which I hate to admit that I am. And so they sent me back to school, and I was in the process of getting ready to start Trickaro up, and I figured if I could go back to school, get some funding from VRAP, and I signed up for some business courses, and the SCORE was actually a test question on one of my business classes. And then I looked it up, and I realized SCORE was here in Orlando, and called up and walked right in. Had some amazing mentors, Gopal and Chuck, and so actually, it was pretty much going back to school is what led me to find out about SCORE.
And of course, you took advantage of that. Are you still working with SCORE?
Somewhat. I speak to Gopal and Chuck every once in a while. Now that we're looking at investors and things like that, they're kind of helping us along in that direction.
I see. And what'd you do? Just walk in over there and one day and say, "Hey, you guys are on a test I had to take. I want to find out what this is all about."
Basically, I had some information from one of my professors, and they had the number at Seminole State, and basically called them up and said, "Hey, I have this new business, but I've been in business for myself for a really long time, but I just kind of need to find out how to get a better business plan for pricing our products and kind of bringing it to market. I've brought other products to market before, but I kind of wanted to do it the right way, and I felt the best way by doing it was actually getting a couple of mentors."
Gina, what was your previous business before that?
Pedicabs.
There you go.
Actually, it was YWalk Pedicab.
Yeah,
What is that? I'm sorry.
Pedicab is a rickshaw, bicycle-powered rickshaw.
Okay.
Down around Lake Eola
Petty
and
as in
stuff?
PEDD.
PDI.
Okay.
CAB. Yeah,
Okay.
pedicab as in pedal.
All right.
And that kind of evolved from my bike shop that I owned in Maitland. So I had when I opened my first bike shop, my aunt sent me this really cool hand-painted ornate pedicab from the Philippines, and we had people come in and said, "Hey, this is a great way to get the drunks out of downtown Orlando."
I've been on there many, many times.
I was going to say, Rich, you probably got a lifetime pass.
A brass plaque on one of them.
So we kind of developed the Asian version for Americans. Kind of didn't hold up, so I kind of went into designing, and my aunt got me in touch with somebody out of China to start manufacturing for me. So kind of done the global sourcing and importing for almost 15 years now.
Are you still manufacturing these and selling them?
I kind of got out of doing the industrial pedicab to develop the actually Trickaroos because I wanted to do a broader range of customers, but that's how Trickaroo developed. We kept on having customers call us and go, "Do you have anything smaller? I kind of want to park my car in the garage," because the commercial rickshaws and pedicabs were so big. And then we had people go, "I don't want to pedal. I think if I got my kids somewhere or if I got my mom somewhere, I can't get back. So do you have anything electric?" And so that's kind of how things evolved. And so that's the crazy transition into how we've gotten to where we are.
Well, it's interesting because you had so much business experience already, and yet you were still willing to go to SCORE for help.
I honestly think no one person knows everything. And my goal was to kind of, a better mousetrap. So if I could have some people that can help me, I don't want to have just a local business. My goal with Trickaroo is to make it a $100 million company, and I want to talk to people that have grown large companies. So Chuck, he worked with Clark forklifts. It's, a $1 billion industry. I want to grow a $1 billion business. So I didn't want to stay small, and I wanted to develop it the right way versus just doing a traditional LLC. We're actually a C Corp because eventually we're going to come in and get investors and coming in. And as far as doing stocks, preferred stocks versus common stocks. So that's part of going back to school is that, yes, I opened a small business with a bike shop. I opened a small business with developing pedicabs. I'm going to have a big business. And in having a big business, I need big mentors. And that's what SCORE gave me. Gopal, he had information about Segway, Chuck with Clark forklifts, Paul. We've talked to people that have managed Harley dealerships all through SCORE, and I feel SCORE was going to give me that next level because what I was finding is I was getting information from all other small business owners, and that's great, and all that knowledge was fantastic. But it's one thing to go from one level to the next level, and that's scary. And so with SCORE, I've kind of had people to hold my hand to go, okay, this makes sense. This doesn't make sense, or Gina, you're just crazy. And that's okay, too.
And they've said that a lot about you, I think.
Okay, I tell you what, this is fascinating stuff, but we're going to have to pick it up on the other side of the break. I want to ask you more about your experiences with SCORE. And, folks, you see how easy it is to get involved with SCORE, and here's a woman who understands what they have to offer her. And she'd already been in business with great success. So don't deny yourself the opportunity to go down and talk to SCORE, whether you're just starting out or whether you're like Gina and are already in business. If you want to get to that next level, you need to talk to people who've already been there and know how to get there. And that's what you'll find at SCORE, and we'll be right back after this short break. Okay, welcome back to What's the Score, the show designed to help you come up with that winning combination for your business. And we were telling you about the last of the Veterans Business Initiatives coming up, and that's going to be Tuesday. That's the wrap party, so to speak. But, of course, there's always something going on over at SCORE, isn't there, Rich?
Oh, yeah, all the time. BizFest coming up in May.
Yep.
We'll talk a little bit about that later in the show.
Absolutely. And don't forget, if you missed this weekend's free Your Business Idea, How SCORE Can Help, it will be repeated again on Tuesday the 31st. So that's Tuesday the 31st if you missed this weekend's free Your Business Idea, How SCORE Can Help, which was this Saturday. So don't forget, those things are repeated over and over again. They also have other great seminars like starting your new business, marketing your business, building your financial plan, building your business plan, funding your business, and a whole lot more. And there's just too many of them for me to go through all of them, but you can find them at scoreorlando.org. That's scoreorlando.org, where all those seminars and how much they cost. Some of them do have a cost, and none more than $30 or $40. I think it's the highest.
That's it,
yeah.
Right.
And you'll find the dates and times, and you can register there. And they would like you to register even for the free Your Business Idea and How SCORE Can Help seminars, just so they make sure that they have enough handouts for everyone. Because especially that one is usually happening when it's not during office hours.
Yeah, the last one that was on a Saturday, you were short by about 10 or 15 of the handouts.
Yeah,
and these handouts got a lot of information.
Yeah, and that's sort of a good problem. It means a lot of people are showing up, and we appreciate that. And we know a number of you are showing up because you heard about them on this show, and we appreciate that. But please, if you'll just call them or email them over there and let them know that you're going to be there. And, of course, the phone number is 407-420-4844. That's the number at SCORE in the Entrepreneur Center, 407-420-4844. And, yes, I did get a question about this. The Entrepreneur Center is where all the seminars are held.
That's correct.
Yeah. But SCORE does go out into the community with other events, like they were at Bay Hill this past weekend, this past Monday. And, Rich, you're always out and around doing something, aren't you?
Oh, yeah. We've got a few coming up, actually, downtown south. We've got one coming up at Businesses and Beer. Go figure.
Businesses and beer. We'll find you there.
Yeah. And you know where that would be. Our guest from months back, John Cheek from Orlando Brewing.
It's
down there a network, network opportunity. And these things happen, and they're happening more and more and more. So for all you business people and entrepreneurs out there, get out there and work the network. That's what you did, didn't you?
Absolutely.
And, of course, we're talking once again with Gina Garcia. She's she started a company called Trickaro. And we're going to be talking more about that. And but once again, Gina, you have been involved with SCORE. Real quickly, before we get back to our conversation, where can people find out more about Trickaro and see for themselves exactly what it's all about?
You can go to our website. It's Trickaro.com, Trikaroo.com. You could come to our offices, which is at 5525 Commerce Drive, Suite 1, Orlando, Florida, and or you could just give us a call at 1-800-679-3415.
And there's no C in Trickaro.
It's not a trick. It's a trike.
Okay.
Right. It's
but we can trick your trike. So we've done all kinds of different color paint jobs for tailgating and things like that, and embroidered seats with different.
Can you put those fancy shock absorbers on them that make them bounce up and down and stuff?
Oh yeah, lights on bottom. Whoa,
air shocks,
all kinds of bling.
Well, that's interesting. But we'll work more towards the Trickaro and what that's all about. But I want to go back to your experiences with SCORE real quick. And Rich, I want to ask you this. Actually, she's mentioning Gopal and Chuck. Who are they?
Oh, those are two counselors.
Okay,
Gopal.
well, tell us a little bit. Who is Gopal?
Okay, Gopal was the ex-chairman here of SCORE.
Yeah.
And
what's his business background, I mean?
Accounting, marketing and accounting.
Okay.
And the week after he accepted the chairmanship for SCORE, he found a job, moved to California.
Are you serious?
I'm serious. It just was what happened about 5 months ago or so. Yeah. So,
and I still call him.
Yeah,
so
we all do.
He's still my mentor, regardless if he's on the other side of the country.
Right.
Wow.
And he's still
fantastic.
active.
Yeah.
Amazing.
So see, folks, these folks are there and they're dedicated to help you out. And Chuck, what about Chuck? Who is Chuck?
Chuck Jensen is a small business owner, but also has good accounting and financial background. So he kind of helped Gina in that area.
He was with Clark Forklift.
Yeah, and then he started his own.
Business.
I see. Now, you also mentioned you were a veteran.
I am a veteran.
I'm sorry, you are a veteran, I should say. I'm sorry. United States Navy, thank you for that.
Oh.
And you used your veterans benefits how to get you help? Did they help you out? Let me put it that way.
Well, I guess I didn't use them traditionally how they're supposed to be, but as far as they had an initiative, the VRAP to...
You mentioned that earlier. What does VRAP mean?
It's Veterans program. I can't remember what the A is for. Sorry.
That's all right.
But it was pretty much an initiative if you were between the ages of 35 and 65 with the recession to retrain veterans for different types of employment.
Okay.
So my thought was that I knew I was going to launch Trickaro and kind of transition my old business into a new business. And so with going back to school and the funds, I went ahead and paid for my classes, and the remainder of the money I used to actually get an office and start ordering inventory and setting up my contacts with Southeast Asia to bring in product. So
you are a consummate entrepreneur.
Absolutely.
I mean, thinking of other ways to use that money instead of the pigeonhole. You know, everybody thinks you got to use it for this, but there's a lot of forms of education.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I actually went back to school at Seminole State where I had gone before, and I signed up for the entrepreneurial program there. And it was more, I felt it was important to just have people to bounce ideas off with. So there were other students that were older students going back to college, and we could bounce off business ideas and things like that and concepts, and which was amazing. They actually had a Shark Tank event before Pitch Fest. That was like 5 days before my Pitch Fest audition, so I actually got to do my entire Pitch Fest scenario in front of my classmates and professors at the college.
So you had a practice pitch.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Now, you back up here for a second. You were in the Pitch Fest last year at the Biz Fest, is that it?
Yes. Uh-huh.
Okay, and what place did you come in?
Sadly to say, I came in second.
Okay, well, that's not bad, because there were a lot of applicants, I understand. So even to be able to pitch your idea, you had to get through a lot of other applicants.
Absolutely.
And then you came in second?
Came in second, yes.
Was there any award or anything for that?
Yes, they actually, it was $1,000 and 5 classes.
Yeah, make sure you talk about what you did with that $1,000.
So that $1,000, 4 days later, Bonnie and myself were in a vehicle driving up to Ohio to go to the actual Shark Tank auditions.
Is that right? You used that $1,000?
Can you believe that?
Wow,
yeah.
that's some savvy there.
Jeez.
But I guess you do this because you feel so strongly about what you've accomplished and your product.
Absolutely. I really believe in our product and how it has the ability to change the world and how we move, getting from here to there. It's our product set up for short trip transportation, and as Americans, we tend to jump in our car, just go to the grocery store that's 2 miles down the road.
Right.
If you're in Southeast Asia, which I actually moved to Southeast Asia to develop my product for a year, they use alternative transportation needs. They're still using pedicabs and rickshaws. They're using traditional like motor scooters, tuk-tuks, jeepneys, and things like that. So right. I kind of moved over there to study how people actually get around, and that was part of the development. It was actually cheaper to live in Southeast Asia for a year than to fly back and forth. And since I'm half Filipino and I have relatives there, it was a $100 round-trip ticket from the Philippines to Shanghai. So that's how I developed the product, and also was able to vet a manufacturing company to build our products over there.
Real quickly, before we have to go out of this segment, since you've done and accomplished so much, what would be the one thing you would tell people not to do?
Not to do.
In terms of starting up a business, and especially maybe if you want to be in the import-export business, is there one big no-no or something to look out for?
I would say not listen to your gut. Your gut will tell you what you're supposed to do. And I think my biggest fallback within myself is when I've questioned my gut instincts.
I see. I think that's very valuable advice there, Rich, because a lot of people second guess themselves. And part of being successful in business, and we learned this, I think, from the coach that we had a couple of weeks ago, the positive thinking coach.
Right, Martin.
Yeah, Martin. That, you got to have that sort of positive attitude, the can-do attitude. I will make this happen.
I got a question about that, though. Mm-hmm. I'm confused because you say that you go to mentors all the time. Mm-hmm. If your gut tells you one thing and a mentor tells you something different, what do?
I go with my gut.
You do,
because at the end of the day, it's your money, it's your business.
Very good.
If you trip and fall, the only person that you could blame is yourself, and people are going to give you bad advice, a lot of it. And
even if they have good intentions.
They could have the best of intentions, but at the end of the day, it's your money, and if you succeed or fail, it's all on your shoulders.
In other words, it's always your decision to move forward.
Absolutely, and that's one of the things that both Gopal and Chuck stress. Even with giving advice, they were like, well, if you do this, this could happen. They gave me more options than this is what you have to do. And I was thankful for that, because it kind of gets your brain working to go, okay, I have to think about it, because if you're an entrepreneur, you can't be spoon-fed by somebody else, because at the end of the day, they're not writing the checks, you are.
Nope.
And it's your house that's on the line.
And Rich, you've stressed this before. The SCORE's not there to help, run your business. SCORE's there to give you advice, suggestions, and you have to make the decisions.
Yeah,
you
exactly
have to do the
right.
work at the end of the day. Excellent answer.
Thank you,
Gina. Once again, we're talking with Gina Garcia from Trickaro. When we come back after this short break, we're going to find out more about exactly what is a Trickaro and how did she come up with that name for it.
I still say it's from Africa.
Rich. All right, don't forget, folks, you are listening to the What's the Score, the show designed to help you come up with that winning combination for your business. You can find out all about what's going on over at the Entrepreneur Center with SCORE at scoreorlando.org, and you can find our shows archived at scoreorlando.org, and you can subscribe to them on YouTube, right?
YouTube, right, and the website is live.
Okay, and don't forget, we'll be right back after this short break. Okay, welcome back to What's the Score, the show designed to help you come up with that winning combination for your business. Christopher Hart here, along with Rich Jaeckle, and today's guest is Gina Garcia. She's joined in the studio by Bonnie Hillman, who's filming this whole thing. Hi, Bonnie. Everybody say hi, Bonnie, over there. Thanks for being here, Bonnie. And Gina Garcia is now she started a new organization with something called the Trickaro. But the more I talk to Gina, the more I find out that she has a whole lot of things going on.
Multiple personalities here.
Well, she's got a book in the works,
right?
And what were you going to call it again?
Get Out of the Car.
Get Out of the Car, and it's going to be about your business experiences.
Pretty much life experience of like not getting stuck in a particular place or point in your life, and that sometimes you just got to get out of the car. It's good for my business Trickaro, which is get out of your car because it's a better form of transportation for your short trip transportation needs. And also get out of the car for a film that I did that is based about my child abduction as a child.
I got one called Get Out of the Bar.
All right, back up here for a second. You were abducted as a child?
Yes, I was taken from the Fashion Square Mall in 1981, October 12th.
Well, I guess that's a date you wouldn't forget, is it?
Actually, I forgot for a really long time. I had PTSD and had to kind of retrace what had happened to me.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
And you made a movie was made about this?
Yes.
And has it been released yet?
We actually screened at the Central Florida Film Festival last September. We won Audience Choice Award as well as Best Florida Feature Film.
How did you participate in the movie? Were you a consultant? Were you a producer? Did you write it?
I wrote, directed, produced, edited the film, and pretty much did most of the film myself.
And is it a documentary or is it sort of a drama about your experiences? And how long were you abducted for?
I was taken for just under 3 hours.
Okay.
I jumped from a moving car after being sexually assaulted on Colonial. So basically, I ran back into the mall half naked, Fashion Square Mall, which the Pitch Fest was, which was a very kind of an uncomfortable thing for me. But on a lighter note, as far as like making the film, kind of on the last segment is that I went out with the intentions of I'm going to go make a movie, and I went out to Hollywood, met a lot of Hollywood actors and directors. Patty Jenkins that did Monster, which was also filmed here on Daytona Beach. I got in touch with her at an event, and she actually mentored me through the project. I asked her to direct the film, and she said, absolutely, beep, not. And we need more female directors, so I will hold your hand and mentor you.
Okay.
So back to the mentor thing. If you ask someone, more than likely they will say yes, because it's a great form of,
flattery.
Yeah, exactly. So,
flattery is probably not the right word. That's more empty. As you say, respect and admiration. Right. Yes.
She was the only person that I wanted to direct the film, but she said she wouldn't do it under any circumstances, and she said, "I know you could do this." And so I went out and kind of went back to film school while I was in the Philippines and learned the digital side of filmmaking. Moved back and then went to Hollywood. Gloria Allred's actually in my film, does her acting debut. The famous civil rights attorney.
Yeah.
Deborah Wilson from Mad TV. She's in the film. Carlos Gomez, who was on the Glades.
Okay.
Jason London from Dazed and Confused. Cherry Ivans, who was on All My Children for 7 years.
This is a drama recounting your experiences that day.
Yes, it goes from that day at 8 to me at 33 years old.
Oh, fantastic.
So it's a 25-year journey, and I had all these amazing actors come on board, and I just made the calls, and they said yes, which scared the out of me because I'm like, I kind of don't know what I'm doing, but they said yes, so I guess I have to do this.
Well,
Wow.
I guess they saw something in you which made them want to be a part of your project. And
Once again, that entrepreneurial spirit and that no fear. Just no fear. She jumps into it.
And what's the worst thing that can happen if you ask someone? That they say no,
Yeah.
right?
Well, rejection, man.
Well, it was interesting because I had quite a few people go, and this was during the Q&A at the film festival, and they were like, was this hard? And my thing when people ask me if something's hard, everything else is easy after you jump out of a car at 8 years old.
Sure.
You know, like I've already seen what the worst could happen in life. So from this point on, I know what the worst could be. So let's try to get.
It's just
got to
get better.
Yeah, it can only get better.
But it says something about you as an 8-year-old. I don't know whether you got it from your parents or you're just born with that sort of spirit, that you understood that staying where you were wasn't going to be a good thing. And even if you were jumping out of the car and bouncing down the road, that was better than going down the road with the person that abducted you. By the way, was that person apprehended?
They were never apprehended. The Orlando PD, when they opened my file up, and this was only like 7 years ago, they reopened my file.
Cold case. They
believed it was probably the same person that had taken Adam Walsh because I was actually knife point. You don't have to put a knife to a child.
Right.
And the car was a similar car to the one that Adam was taken in. It was a stolen car, but it was an exact match. And they said a lot of times people tend to steal or take the same thing because it's easier for them.
They understand how it works.
Well, we are really looking forward to seeing that come out.
Mm-hmm. The film's called Untold, but it's actually getting rebranded as 1%. Because they felt that was a better name considering the time period of the milk cartons.
And 1%?
And 1% is the statistics of children that are actually survive a stranger abduction. 99% of children that are taken by a stranger are murdered within the first 24 hours.
And most likely would have happened to you as well. So
absolutely. I was getting taken to a dump site.
Holy, well, don't say any more. We don't want to take the whole
We will
picture.
look forward to that movie coming out. You're writing a book as well. We talked about that. But let's talk about Trickaro. Because this is, it's, when I first looked at this, to be honest with you, I thought this is for handicapped people, but it's not. These are actually electric powered vehicles that are for anybody. And it's not a golf cart. It's more like a motorcycle, if you will.
It's kind of a cross between a golf cart and a scooter and a mobility scooter. If you put it in a blender, a Trickaro comes out.
But you have several different styles.
Absolutely. All of our trikes, and the reason why it's called Trickaro, can take a second person. So similar to like a mobility scooter only taking one person and golf carts taking two. All of them, even our smallest one that folds up, can take a small child.
And the thing I asked you is what makes it different than the other carts, and you very clearly explained it to me. What was it?
Well, actually, I never went out with the idea of setting up a mobility scooter. I'm like, I want to design mobility scooters. I had actually designed pedicabs, rickshaws, and we had a constant request for people to, they didn't want to pedal. They were lazy. I don't know if I get 2 miles and taking my kids in the back, if I'm going to get back. So we started developing electric, and then it came down to, I don't know where to store it. We just delivered one up in Destin, Florida, that they were like, we can't get a golf cart because we don't have enough room in our garage. So basically we shrunk it down, and through my lawyer, it was kind of, if you make it just a little bit smaller and you could go through a standard doorway and we take off the pedals, it's now a mobility scooter and we could get a patent. And my goal was to be able to get a patentable product. So I didn't go with the intentions of a mobility scooter, but that's what it's patented under.
And
so
here it is.
Yeah. So it's the second seat mobility. And I wanted to make it fun and cool. So it goes 18 miles an hour versus a mobility scooter only going 4. We wanted to be competitive with golf carts.
You know, I could see this down the road, you know, all these, myself and all my cohorts and stuff getting in their mobility scooters. And having drag races on the weekend, and, you know, mine goes 18. What does yours do?
Well, 18 miles an hour on this vehicle is going to be fast. You're going to be seeming like you're going pretty fast.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And but you do have several different models. And you said that you were working with, did you say you worked with Harley Davidson, or you were trying to work with Harley Davidson?
We didn't work with Harley Davidson. One of the SCORE mentors was a Harley Davidson dealer.
I see.
And so he just gave us some just general input on being able to take it as far as branding. And that was the biggest thing, is we actually worked with a branding person when we decided to come up with a name. The biggest thing was it has to be under 8 letters. You have to be able to have the .com. It has to be trademarkable. So that was kind of like a lot of names already existed. So you want to be warm and fuzzy because you don't want it to be too industrial and things like that, and know your audience. So our big thing was with Trickaro. Back if you were here in the 80s and there was a Lionel Playworld.
Oh, yeah.
Well, that's where I was abducted from, and in that area. And honestly, a kangaroo saved my life.
Kangaroo?
I disassociated during that time and just stared at the Lionel Playworld sign. And I was a kangaroo. And now coming full circle to today, when he was asking me, or the person we were dealing with branding, he was like, well, what are animals that you like? I was like, I like monkeys. I like this. And he's like, and I was like, I like kangaroos. And so to actually have a company with a kangaroo mascot from a big, huge thing that happened to me when I was 8, and now it's the thing that's going to take me to the next level.
But it's a good thing now.
Yeah, absolutely.
You turned it from an awful circumstance to a good thing.
Absolutely. So
awesome.
That's how Trickaro is, 3 wheels, and all of our stuff can take 2 people. So
and I was going to say, it works because kangaroos, of course, have the pouches where they carry their young. So it's quite apropos. And Trickaro is when you think about it, it's self-explanatory. And once again, their website, folks, is Trickaro.com. That's Trikaroo, Trickaro.com. And you can visit them there, or you can call them if you would like to find out more via the telephone at 1-800-679-3415. That's 800-679-3415. And do you have a showroom? You did mention the showroom earlier, didn't you?
We have a office warehouse space that you can come in by appointment, and we could. You can take them out on test rides. We actually go see a lot of our customers. We were just in New Orleans yesterday and Destin, Florida the day before, and we showed up at their house. They said, we want to see one. And
how'd they find out about it in New Orleans?
Actually...
Nollians, as they say.
Nollians. We've been trying to figure out this advertising marketing thing, and Bonnie was like, let's start listing them on Craigslist. So actually, Craigslist has been the way we've been able to do a lot of marketing in other areas.
Good. I've got 2 questions
for you. All right, but you're going to have to wait until after the break because we're up against the break.
2 questions.
Okay, we'll start with your 2 questions when we come back from the break. And don't forget the Biz Fest, which, of course, she was at the last. Are you going to be at the Biz Fest this year again?
Absolutely.
Okay, so you have a chance to meet Gina Garcia and see more about the Trickaro at this year's Biz Fest. You don't have to wait that long, though, because the Biz Fest is not until May 19th. But if you've got an idea out there and you want to be in the Pitch Fest, you have to get your application in now, your submission. The window is open. It will close on the day after tax filing day, April the 16th. So get your application in and don't go away because we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back to What's the Score, the show designed to help you come up with that winning combination for your business. And once again, don't forget about the Biz Fest. It is free. It'll be starting at noon on May the 19th, Rich, is it?
Yeah, that's right, about noon.
Okay, at the Entrepreneur Center right there in the Fashion Square Mall. It's a free walk-up type thing. I'd love to see you out there. We're going to do a remote broadcast from there, so it's going to be a lot of fun. Oh, did I let the secret slip out about the remote broadcast? And how we're going to be there doing a remote broadcast?
We are going to be there.
Doing a remote broadcast.
Oh, my goodness. Isn't that fascinating?
Yeah, so I'll be there all day.
I really didn't even know.
Yeah, we're going to be doing a remote broadcast of my American Adversaries radio show. So it'll be a lot of fun. And, of course, Mike McBath will be there. Yeah, and Gina Garcia is going to be there. Bonnie will be there, I'm sure. Bonnie Hill.
Yeah, wait a minute. I can't stand this anymore. Bonnie, say hello.
Hello.
And you are what? Co-founder, partner?
Business partner.
Oh, okay.
And obviously, you gave her some pretty good advice with that Craigslist suggestion. But don't forget, come out to BizFest. And, of course, we want to thank all you folks who've been coming out to the seminars and other events because you heard about them here on What's the Score. And it just goes to show you that radio is still one of the most effective ways available to build name recognition via advertising and prestige via your very own radio show like this one right here. Now, if you'd like to find out more about the world of radio on one of the most powerful AM stations in Central Florida, Florida, call Bill Files at 407-618-1760. He's the station manager here at Salem Media Group Orlando, where they now have 4 stations, so they can really target your audience for you. 407-618-1760 is the number. Bill Files is the name. Come on down. He'd love to give you a tour and show you around. Rich, when we went into the break, you said you had a couple of questions for Gina. Take her away.
I absolutely do. She and I were talking before we got on the air here, and a couple of things I found fascinating. Well, actually, everything was pretty fascinating, but one of the things she said is she had a lucrative business going with the pedicabs, but you rebranded.
Yes.
In the middle of starting to be successful at this thing, you decide to rebrand. I don't get it.
Well, part of it was when you're actually operating pedicabs in like a city area, your hours where you want to be working aren't traditional hours. You're working till 3 or 4 o'clock at night. You have drivers out there.
Yeah, traditionally, these are services downtown, as you know, patrons are wanting to get.
Lake Eola is full of them.
Exactly.
Lake Eola, I drive. I had 60 drivers, actually.
Oh, my goodness.
We were doing Winter Park, I drive. We were doing events up in Jacksonville, Gainesville. We had an RV and a trailer. And it was a lot of work. And I had to remember my father, and he's like, work smart, not hard. And this was a lot of work. And it's a great business to be in, but I realized that I designed a great product. And so my goal was to start on the manufacturing side and try to expand into other cities, but help other entrepreneurs, get into business. So that was the intention. So I went strictly into the manufacturing side of the pedicabs, and then I started selling them around the country. So we set them up in wow, I can't even remember anymore, but in New Mexico and Seattle, people were operating our cabs in Savannah. So it was cool to have a product that you figured out and tweaked and stuff like that, and have other people riding on them in other cities. So
awesome, really awesome.
You said you had another question.
Yes, I do. When you rebranded, you went from this pedicab idea to the new mobility things.
Trickaro.
Right. So that would probably take too much time to talk about why you did that.
The rebranding was we went from YWalk Pedicab to Ped E-Cab. For pedal electric cab, and then it was too industrial, and we wanted to be able to open our base of our customer clientele into something that was more warm and fuzzy, because we do sell a lot to moms taking their kids to school and families. Our primary market are baby boomers. With Trickaro, all of our products are named after kangaroos. So the Trickaro Boomer is an alpha male kangaroo. The Flyer is a female kangaroo that has the Burberry bag on the back.
Now, these are all models of the Trickaro.
So it was pretty much marsupials. We can have, as we developed and grow, we can do like a wombat series. We can do a wallaby series and things like that.
I love it.
Right.
Versus only being stuck into a Model DX1 kind of thing. We wanted to be able to have fun and kind of play with it and have people have that experience of...
And it reinforces your brand of using the kangaroo.
Well, Jeff, can you get me a dictionary and an encyclopedia, please? I did want to say one thing. She just got back from New Orleans. Mm-hmm. Okay. Go ahead.
Well, I was going to say, you said your father gave you some advice. He said, work smart, not hard. Was your father an entrepreneur?
My father was an entrepreneur and an engineer. So his thing with my dad, and I told this story when we were up in New Orleans to one of our customers, and he's like, how'd you get into like designing these things? And he's like, are you an engineer? I'm like, no. My father passed away when I was 22, and he got sick when I was 18, and he knew he was going to die. So his thing was, when all my friends were going to the mall and things like that, he's like, my alternator is going bad in the car. I need you to come fix it because I can't turn things. And I'm like, I want to go out with my friends. What are you doing? So every time anything mechanical was going wrong with my father's things, and I thought it was just abuse, it was him preparing me as a daughter that I want to make sure you're going to be okay when I'm gone. And it's the biggest gift he could ever give me. So yep. I say to all the fathers out there that have daughters, let them play with your tools. It's not just for boys, because you could go very far if you are mechanically inclined.
Yes. We've had a guest on here. Well, the question was, why were you in New Orleans?
We shipped a trike out to New Orleans, and in shipping, it got damaged. One of the wires came undone, and the customer's really upset. And I was just like, well, how about if I come out and fix it? And he's like, what do you mean you're going to come out and fix it? I was like, I'll be there on Tuesday.
All the way
6 o'clock.
from Orlando.
All the way from Orlando. So we had another customer. We were delivering one in Destin, so we dropped one off there, and we just drove out to New Orleans. And as we were fixing it, and it's getting dark, and mosquitoes are all over the place, and he sees the other Trickaro in the van, which we always go everywhere with a demo.
Okay.
And he's like, is that for sale? And I'm like, it's always for sale. And because we fixed it and drove out there, he was like, I want to buy that too. So they have his and her Trickaroos.
Can you believe that?
Well, that's
customer service at its finest.
People still appreciate good customer service.
Right.
Absolutely.
Holy cow.
I want to back up a little bit. A while ago, you said that you took the $1,000 that you won at the Pitch Fest last year and went up to try to get on Shark Tank. What happened?
We drove up to Ohio like 2 days later, and we did the audition. We got an immediate callback within 3 days. They usually say it takes about 2 weeks. We shot our local video. We spoke to the producers and everything like that. They kind of put us on hold through September, which was kind of brutal, and they ended up not going with us. But we went back down in January and did another audition down in Miami and stuff.
Right.
So
they may still pick you up yet.
Yeah, and the thing is, it's about, even though they said no, it's the thing with doing those 1 minute elevator pitches. It's a fantastic opportunity. You don't know who you're gonna meet at those events, so I highly recommend like the Pitch Fest, the Shark Tank auditions, joining the chamber. It's all about networking, because every time we've done one of those events, we wind up selling trikes. Shark Tank might not, at the end of the day, if Shark Tank doesn't pick us, it's probably going to be their loss. So,
no ego in your family, is there?
It's the right attitude. Once again, it's that can-do attitude. But Rich was telling me you were on ABC or CBS or something.
My film Untold, which is actually going to be called 1%, 1%movie.com or untoldthefilm.com.
Once again, folks, 1% of children who are abducted actually survive the experience.
And so when we had our LA premiere at LA Live, and we did an interview on NBC. So we're on NBC, and here locally, Daryl Nail on Fox did a local interview here.
Okay, so if you folks have seen it out there, this is Gina Garcia, the person you did see on TV.
One of the other things that really intrigued me here about you and your abilities in the thinking out of the box here was what you told me about City Hall.
Oh, when Orlando was passing the ordinance to actually allow pedicabs in downtown Orlando, when they asked me to speak, I thought it would be better just to ride a pedicab into City Hall. So we actually had it in the floor of City Hall. And Patty Sheehan basically said, we have the Cadillac of pedicabs. So it was a great compliment.
And did they endorsed it, of course?
They endorsed it, and now you see pedicabs in downtown Orlando as well as I drive.
Are you still selling the pedicabs along with the Trickaroos?
We completely got out of that. It's just with having a film and also Trickaroo, it's dividing my time. So
did being able to do the pedicabs and setting up that sort of manufacturing chain, if you will, did that help you with the Trickaroo? You use the same manufacturers?
Absolutely, yes,
yeah.
Yes. It was a really easy transition as far as tooling, getting parts, and also the translation. We had developed a great working relationship with our manufacturers in China, and so it was easy to go, I need this, and change, and can you make it this way? And so they were able to make prototypes for us relatively quickly.
You had to get certified to be able to take your Trickaroo from outside to inside.
There is no certification. Actually, golf carts actually can be considered an ADA compliant vehicle for mobility issues. In order to make it ADA compliant to go into a building, it had to be able to go through a doorway. So our Trickaroos are only 26.5 inches wide, so it could go through a standard doorway in like a mobile home trailer or things like that.
So it is ADA.
It's ADA compliant.
All right.
Okay, and once again, these are electric powered, and the Flyer will go 25 miles up to 15 miles an hour, and the Boomer Deluxe will go 40 miles up to 18 miles an hour.
Oh, yeah.
I tell you what, when I make it in the radio business, I'm going to get me a couple of these, baby.
Oh, man.
And you can trick them out, too.
I'm going to park one at every bar.
Yeah, I'm going to get one with those little things coming out of the handlebars, the little frilly things.
Flames. You got to get flames on the side.
No, I'm just kidding. But this is a serious product. It's a great product, and I think you're going to go a long way with it.
We hope so.
Yeah, and once again, Trickaro.com is where you can find them. That's Trikaroo. Trickaro.com, 800-679-3415, 800-679-3415. And Gina, it's fascinating talking to you. Bonnie, once again, thank you. You guys make a great partner.
Bonnie, say goodbye.
Goodbye.
And don't forget, we'll be back next week with more of What's the Score. But and we're going to have to get Gina back. I got a feeling we've just scratched the surface.
Oh, I know, man. She takes over the whole show. I love it.
I did too. But we certainly hope you